The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. As always, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host is ready to go back into the breach with you, dear friends, today.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Every damn day. Anyway, we've got a wonderful day started off here. If we look at the actual indexes, it would probably give you a little misindication of what's gone on today. And that is we're up 2 points. You'd think, hey, maybe we've been up 2 points all day. We kind of drifted down a little lower, drifted up a little bit higher, but pretty quiet trading going into a Friday. Volume is good, not like it has been last few days, even on kind of sideways days. Under 2.4 billion shares on the consolidated tape. But I don't know what else you can say about it. We'll see how the volume comes in at the end of the day. But for a fairly narrow trading range, a lot of volume. And we'll continue to look and see what the split is. I don't have time, or I really don't get a chance to do it until at night. But we'll see what the indexes are telling us and what the individual stocks are telling us for volume compared to what we get for the total volume, and see if those high-frequency traders aren't really back in this market, really beefing up a lot of volume, even though we're not going very far. 2 points on the S&P cash. But as always, we like to get this party started with a little bit of histoire to start off the show.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
History repeats itself over and over again. Of course, in the late 80s, it was all about Japanese buying all of America, and they were going to win the war 40 years later. On this day in 1989, Mitsubishi agrees to buy and pay $846 million for 51% of Rockefeller Center in New York, setting off mass hysteria. Yes, we had all those wonderful. Godzilla was up and down Main Street and in Central Park that day. Of course, and the claim that America was being scooped up by the Japanese. By 1996, Mitsubishi affiliate was so financially troubled that it had to sell Rockefeller Center for less than $400 million for over a 50% loss. And we've heard it many times before. We're losing everything, and eventually we figure out some way to sell everything we have at the top of the market to people internationally and take all their cash. We've been doing it, I think, since we've been selling Manhattan for 30 beads or whatever it was. But it never seems to have come true yet. We will see. Of course, right now we're busy selling worthless pieces of paper to the Chinese called treasury bonds. They're just pieces of paper. What would really happen if we just said, nanny, nanny, boo-boo, you're screwed? I always wondered about that. Of course, it probably wouldn't be good, but it would be worse for them. Earnings next week. Before the bell on Monday, we've got Cardinal Health, Diamond Offshore Drilling, Echo Labs, Mankind, Cisco, and this isn't the router company Cisco. This is the company that owns 70% of all the restaurant business, Cisco. They have the trucks piled up, and that's why everything tastes the same everywhere you go. Visa also on Monday morning. After the bell, we've got the giant American International Group, AIG, Applied Microcircuits, and Avis Budget Rent-A-Cars. After the bell, before the bell on Tuesday, American Semiconductor, Archer, Daniels Midland Supermarket, to the world, Harris Corporation, the company that ended up buying my company, HCP, Kellogg's Company, Mobileye, Sprint, Vishay, and Western Refining Incorporated. Checkpoint Systems after the bell, Chewy's, Hecla Mining, Myra Genetics, Taro Pharmaceuticals, Tesla Motors, of course, and that was selling off earlier today. Haven't had a chance to look at it lately. And United States Steel. You know, we're bigger than United States Steel. Zendesk, and we're going to find out if Zynga is in and still around. Of course, we've got a bunch of these. I had a lot of people talk about, and even a few called in about the dry bulk shippers. And the real question is, I thought maybe these things would give us a hint and start running into earnings. We're going to have a bunch of those dry bulk shippers on Monday and Tuesday. But I didn't see anything out of them. We tried to make a trade, didn't do so, got out of it in the daily newsletter a couple of days ago. I just don't see, to me, that's going to be one of the most interesting things and probably the thing that the market pays the least attention to unless there is a giant surprise, and that's whether or not those dry bulk shippers can continue on as a going concern. They're all down in the dollar range and penny stocks, and the question is whether or not these guys can come back if 3/4 of them are going to have to go bankrupt to make one profitable and a mover. But that's looking forward at least into Tuesday, and we'll look at that. Yeah, the Louisiana Territory. I think we bought it for 3 cents an acre. But yeah, it was maybe like $5 million or something. Ridiculous. Anyway, that is one part of it. Let's go ahead and start pulling up charts. We're going to get into stocks that had earnings either last night or today and take a look at them. First up on my list is New Skin. Wanted to see how this is. Now, kind of a nice pop. Didn't open up that strongly, but has started to really move higher. And you know, these China companies, who knows if they're real or not. This one's got a huge amount of problems, but you know, at any time, some of these stocks will eventually bounce. It didn't give a bad signal out here yesterday. We did get down into the candle of October 7th that had 10 million shares. Came into it with 1.5 million shares going into earnings, so not such a big deal out here. We talked at nauseum about, what was it? The other place, not Aaron's Rents, Rent-A-Center, and how it blew up. Of course, I instantly went and checked to see if I could buy short sale shares from my broker, and found out, of course, nobody had any shares. Apparently, this was the worst kept secret other than me, and that is that these Rent-A-Center style companies like Aaron's and Rent-A-Center were having majorly horrible problems with, it seems, at least from what you can get into it, getting any cash from these folks. So I'm really going to have to dig deeper into this, but it looks to me like the real problems are people aren't paying. And I thought maybe just people had quit going in and buying stuff. No. Net. It is a great deal of people over the last quarter have really cut back on whether or not they are paying for these vastly overpriced items like washers and dryers and TVs and radios and entertainment centers and couches that these people provide at a confiscatory rate. But this one blew through all through its lows. The April 2nd low out here was at 27.40 and it blew through it down to 23.74. Let's go back and look at Rent-A-Center real quick. You know, the same kind of thing. It was already pretty much down there. And there wasn't a whole lot for Rent-A-Center out here. Let's go back a little farther. Maybe is there something anywhere out here? We're going to go back 10 years and see. I mean, these things just look like they're going to the bottom of the ocean, and that's the only thing that would stop them going down right now. It's probably worse. It's probably better than I'm laying it out. But when you see a sector like this give you a signal. I think it's a giant's heads up, especially for the people at the lower rung of the economic ladder. It's telling you something. Now, I'll follow up on Monday and try to dig more through it. Neither one of these folks, either Rent-A-Center or Aaron's Rents, was very clear about what was going on in what they were doing, other than we didn't make our numbers. There wasn't a whole lot of discussion, and there weren't a whole lot of answers, and there weren't a whole lot of good questions in the earnings calls for either one of these. So I don't think this is one of these things where I think a lot of people would just rather not have the real news, whatever it is, out in the public at the moment. And of course, it's not a huge sector, but people not really talking about it. I think it is a canary in the coal mine, and we will talk more about it Monday when I have a chance to go back through everything and see maybe somebody has some intelligent writing on why these two stocks have blown apart this week in a market that you think at least they should probably be doing flattish on it. Clears Valigent Management. What a mess. In your head too, hat broken Philidor. Yep. All these companies got a lot of weird comments in the den. Other stocks that are up, First Solar, FSLR. There's a lot of huge short interest in these stocks, and just not a whole lot you can say about First Solar, other than they did a little bit better than everybody was thinking about. They did gap past the fairly high volume move that goes back on the 5th of August on 11.1 million shares. They're up here with 5 million shares and a little doji out here today. And the numbers were okay. They weren't anything that would make me think this thing gapped up this big today, other than huge short interest. Now, on the opposite side, and one that is worthy of I told you thusly, is another company. And we talked about this maybe a month or 6 weeks ago. And I said, there's got to be a reason why Jim Chanos is shorting the living dog doo-doo out of this thing. SCTV is the symbol on it. Of course, it blew through its previous lows. It's got twice the volume of its previous August 24th low. For those that are new to the show, we talked about all the subsidies that are going away in this sector. And now that the budget's done and actually on the way to the president's desk today, what we do know is there is no new kind of subsidies for these companies. Now, Jim Chanos, who shorted this, basically says it's it's not a solar company at all. We'll talk about that when we come back. I'm going to have to play you I Told You Thusly.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Pesavento, Thinkorswim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're back.
I informed you thusly.
And that's an informed you thusly on Solar City. We talked about it. Probably the weirdest thing about this stock, other than Jim Chanos shorting it, which means that you better have an absolutely bulletproof reason for being long, because he's not one to suffer fools. And of course, he's probably spent, I don't know, $100,000 going through their books and having other people go through their books and checking out that the locations are actually there. And, you know, maybe some private investigators following the people around to make sure they're not killing people. These short firms are not out there just kind of on a whim doing it. There are some that are like that. Normally, when you get to be old, you are not so bold. You are pretty sure of your calls, and he is one of the best short sellers. But even this, what was really funny was that around that 39.60 level when this thing kind of hit the lows, there was a lot of discussion about his shorts. And of course, what did Elon Musk do? He rolled out his what was it? His dopey brother-in-law. I had to write it down because I wrote it down that day, and I said, why is his dopey brother-in-law out here? Well, he made his dopey brother-in-law the CEO of the company. So I thought if there was one good reason to short, it was probably nepotism. But as far as what Jim Chanos is saying, he is looking for this stock to go to zero rather soon. He says that they have nothing to do with really being a solar company. They are nothing but a finance company giving you a second mortgage on your house. Well, anyway, I already gave you I told you thusly, so I don't know if we can do anything else. Other stocks are kind of bouncing around. YRCW. And this has popped back up. This is YRC. Where's my thingy here? There it is, my profile. This is YRC. It's back up where this thing really started falling apart. Wasn't a lot of volume back in here, but it is back up to a kind of a gap that goes back to the 31st of July. This is one of these transport companies. All of them have kind of gotten whacked lately, and it was kind of interesting to see this one actually go up. But they offer specialty services for transport and apparel, appliances, automotive parts, chemicals, food, furniture, glass. And I don't know how it's specialized. Maybe, not breaking the glass. Anyway, one of the few companies out here actually doing well in that delivery business or shipping business. And a nice little pop back up here. They're just basically up to resistance again. The downside is that they had heavier volume on the October 29th low, so you can look for a retest coming to a theater near you. Now, on a sadder note, Sam's, Boston Beer Company, down 10%. Is that right? Yeah, down 10%. $220 the last time we looked. It was down to $212 today. And of course, there's nothing sadder than seeing a beer company's stock price go lower. And cereal malt beverages for adults. Anyway, wonderful out here, but the massive volume. You got a low at 205 from October 1st. My guess, though, is you're probably looking at the September 2nd low at 195, and it's working its way back to that low. I don't see any way that's going to probably turn around too soon. Natural gas, of course, been on the wrong end of the chart for the last few weeks and really gotten beat up. Cheniere's kind of had a little bit of bounce up, another 1.5% today. But let's just look at the volume for the last 2 days. The only good part about this is it may have found at least a temporary bottom. The September 24th low had 9.4 million shares at $46.23. You've gone below that, you pop back into this trading range, but my guess is you're going to still need some kind of consolidation or something before this thing gets going. It may have made a bottom. Cray's been in this kind of $20 trading range for a long time. If you're unfamiliar with Cray, I guess it got up to $35. It is a supercomputer manufacturer. I know somebody actually spent a lot. Yep. We'll be back in just a second.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
If you're looking for a great opportunity to diversify your financial portfolio and hedge against the falling stock market, consider the new market-safe Metals Hedge CD from Everbank. This 5-year indexed U.S. dollar-denominated CD gives you exposure to metals with gold and silver components and allows you to hedge against falling equities with a short component on the SPY ETF. You can earn up to 45% capped upside payment at maturity if gold and silver increase in value and the SPY ETF decreases across annual pricing dates. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on the CD. Don't let fallen markets get you down. Get the Metals Hedge CD. The November 12th funding deadline is quickly approaching, so hurry over to everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. Once again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. This is sponsored content. Everbank is a member FDIC.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
In Fort Collins, Colorado, home of WWV, the Time Channel. And I think, isn't that where they print everything too?
I think so.
Okay. What can we do for you today, Joseph?
They get a lot of fake money there in the mint.
What's that?
They get a lot of fake money in the mint.
Oh, that's right. That's true.
David, I just wanted to pass something along. I've been a day trader for 32, 33 years, and everybody's so serious. I mean, you watch CNBC, you listen to the Double T O'Briens and Basil and Larry, and everybody's so serious. Listening to your show is like watching an episode of Seinfeld. It really is. It really is. And I love your sarcastic humor and the things that we as day traders face day in and day out. I love it. I really love it. I think you're doing a hell of a job. You're a heck of a technician, and you always put a smile on my face, man.
Well, I hope so. I'm trying to entertain myself more than anything.
Well,
you know what?
You're entertaining me, too.
I think you're on to something. It's kind of a serious business, right?
Yes, it is.
And, for me, though, it's, I'm always looking at things almost like I was kind of surprised you said something about a Seinfeld episode, because it seems like I kind of think about a lot of things that way, too. So they may be little or nothing, but they're kind of interesting to me.
Exactly, and it's the everyday thing that nobody thinks about, and it hits us in the face every day, and you know how to put such a sarcastic, twisted spin on it. I love it, man. I love
Your check's in the mail, by the way.
Thanks, buddy. Keep up the good work, man.
You bet.
I really enjoy your show.
Thanks.
Later, man.
You bet. And we got a few other questions going on here. Let's check the email just to make sure. I'm back up here. Where is support for VRX? And the answer is who knows. I wish I had more to tell you. Unfortunately, when stocks get this wacky, there isn't any kind of technicians that can tell you who's going to come out with some kind of giant news. It's all being driven by fear and greed of the shorts, and it gets a lot wackier than you can tell in the last few minutes. No one can tell you whether or not someone's going to come out with something else in the last 30 minutes of the day. And for that, there's no risk-reward model in the world that allow you to trade those, at least that I've ever found. So for me, I look at them and think of all the people that I used to see in trading rooms and around TFNN that chased those, and only think of that guy that had the wings with wax on them. I forget the guy's name. But he flew too close to the sun, and they melted and fell off. Icarus. Yeah. Icarus. And to me, those are the mating calls of the end of a trader, to be ground up by for Chuck in the not too distant future. I've just watched too many people. All it takes is one big mistake and you end your year. So I would give you a cautious word of warning. And okay, what else do we have going on here? Okay, somebody else is up here. I've got to scroll up. Hang on a second here. Okay, one question is about the SOX and the SOX S, and they are short. I can't even find it. I just remembered it. Are short the SOX, and why this thing's probably pretty close. I think you may be a few days in front of this. And the reason why, we've got fund buying. I think we've got a little bit of fund buying just coming in here today. But my guess is you're going to have to suffer through and sit on it probably through, what are you going to say? What do we got here now? Probably have to sit through it through Wednesday. And that is going to be the problem. I don't want to be sitting here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday through fund buying and see a few of these, especially semiconductors, where a lot of people are short these things, roll back up on you. I would much rather take a view of this either Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon after fund buying is over. So again, caution. I'm all cash, by the way, so there isn't that much new out here. There was somebody else that asked something, and now I can't see it. There's about 10 tons of stuff that's scrolled by here. Try and stand. Well, maybe if you'll do it again, I'll find out here. I can't find it in all this stuff. I could spend 5 minutes reading through here to find it. But, IWM. Can we see that it could make a little bit more of a run? I think you've got a bias of maybe 1% or 1.5% higher into Wednesday, just from fund buying. So yes, if I was looking at the IWM, I would still think that you've got 118.89, which is September 17th high to go up against. I mean, you did test the August 24th low with a lighter volume, 83 million shares compared to the September 29th low at 56 million. So yeah, I would say that if I was had to put a trade on or off, I would take it off and on the September 17th high. And that's, that's probably what, 50 minutes or an hour's worth of trading in the morning if a couple of these earnings come out next week, okay. And of course, if the volume just goes light and shorts have to kind of buck up going into Thanksgiving, I would just rather sit back and wait for a bigger signal. In fact, talking about signals in the market today, I've got we've got a lot of Gartley patterns that are being, they're really starting to show up in the market. But more than anything for me is the lack of general market signals out here. We've got a lot of these stocks in no man's land. And I think maybe that's why we're seeing so many of these stocks either up 10% or down 25%. And that is, it continues to be a problem in that, you get a handful of these things that don't go anywhere. But the majority of these things are, either way off to the downside, mostly because they have been in a downtrend forever, and the shorts can't seem to pull the trigger to clean them up. Trimble Navigation's a good one on this one. They come out with earnings that aren't the end of the world, and massive short positions. So these things have been short for 2 years in these things. The thing was $40 back on March 6th of 2014, and of course it's F that now. A lot of these big funds have been short these things for a while, and it doesn't take much to get these things going again. I can't say that their future looks any brighter today than it did yesterday. The only thing it does allow them to do is maybe sell more shares, get more cash, and exist longer. In fact, it probably brings up another nice stock that I wanted to talk about. Had a lot of people calling about 3D printers last week. I think I had 1 or 2 calls. And, we're looking at 3D systems out here. One of the things you really need to watch, and we've talked about it before, is these stocks going below $10. Once they do, of course, a lot of funds, if they stay under $10 for 3 months, a lot of funds by their charter will have to get rid of them, and that makes it even worse out here. We saw, I think we chronicled it for maybe 9 months, how BlackBerry was doing everything it could to keep its stock price above $10. Ludicrous stories of buyouts, ludicrous stories of them selling their intellectual property and patents, and it was all bunk. And I told you thusly. And that's it. They're going to do, and probably this company saw it getting kind of close to $10, and canned their CEO yesterday. But 2 lessons to be had. I wrote about it in the Tech Insider today. I'll be sending it off here in just a few minutes. But it is one of these things where you really have to watch. This is where gravity gets very close. And once you get the funds in this thing and they have to sell, it becomes extremely problematic because, of course, you can't easily sell any more shares and gain any more cash to stay in business, even if you're in a good business. And it becomes problematic. Not a lot of volume today. Had a lot of volume yesterday, and the thing even sold off on getting rid of them. But the thing I was going to bring up was 2 times now I've brought up watching CEOs that seem to be more on CNBC than in the boardroom, actually trying to figure out a way to make money and sell their company's products. They're selling their company, not the products that are actually going to make the stock any better. And we had Molycorp was a great example where the guy was on CNBC every other week, made a lot of money on the way up. And I didn't make so much money on the way down. Didn't make that same mistake with 3D systems. We shorted the living daylights out of this thing and SSYS at the highs, made a lot of money in both options and in the equity. And we did it for the same reason, which is you start seeing these guys every 5 minutes, at least every week on CNBC, you should start scratching your head about a top in the market. It may be great, but more than anything, it probably means some kind of big blow-off top in the market, and you've got to watch it. There were a few times when the stock looked like it could do okay. This thing did get down below a previous low on lighter volume. It rallied back up, but then the volume fell out. Now it's going back down lower. Of course, you had the big volume days yesterday. Will this thing stay around $10 for a while? The answer is yes. They will do everything they can, like they are now, getting rid of the CEO, coming up with the stories of selling this and that. It'll bounce. It'll roll. But to my Tech Insider subscribers, I had a special edition, exactly what these 3D companies need to do to change their growth pattern long term. And if you're one of my subscribers, you've already read it. But pretty in-depth about what needs to change in these 3D printer companies. Let's take a quick look at SSYS. You know, pretty much the same thing. Down here at the lows, though, is what we're looking at. I mean, you had some big volume out here just a few days ago on the 23rd. It went back into a low that had 1 million shares with 4 million shares, and now it's kind of just tanking around. This one has a lot farther to go. The question would be is if DDD Systems goes bankrupt, would this not probably be very good news for SSYS? The answer is yes. The downside to watching one company go out of business and the other one be there is just how much damage the one business can do to the other. And that is they start selling stuff cheap, right, to keep volume up, to keep people employed, to keep the assembly line running, which makes the other company have to lower their prices too. And it's a kind of this horrible thing where you may be the last man standing, but your company may not be able to withstand even a gentle breeze by the time your competitor has also dragged you down with him. This thing wasn't doing good already, but it has problems that will be around for a while. Anyway. Okay. What else is going on out here? Oh, wanted to look at a few more other companies. Not a lot of movement. Let's take a look at LinkedIn out here and Deckers. These are stocks that are up. LNKD, another one of these stocks that, you know, you look at the data we always look for shorts is, 15, 18, 20 days out of time. So we really don't have current volume for what shorts are doing. It looked to me like a lot of people had been shorting the last few days going into LinkedIn, but the numbers really weren't that bad. I've always liked this company better than Facebook in that I thought it would be more transparent in the way that they make money. And two, as soon as the kids leave Facebook, what do you have? To me, it was always Facebook looked like more of a fad compared to LinkedIn. Facebook probably has been the better company, so maybe I was wrong on that, at least in the short term. But to me, the problem had always been with Facebook could be a fad. LinkedIn, of course, are saying that they're one of the few companies doing well in China, and that always scares the bejesus out of me. Anyway, this thing is just now filling its whole big, huge gap down, where this thing monster gap down on the 1st of May. We're back into it. It came down with almost 17 million shares. We're up into that with 6 million shares today. I would not be more, I would, man, if I was long this thing, I would be jumping up and down and getting my cash back on it. My guess is that maybe you got a little bit more to go, maybe 250 on this thing. And I think the shorts will be back all over it and make it really tough. The news was good. It wasn't that good. Anyway, we'll be back with you in the last segment. You can always send me an email at path@tfnn.com. You can call me at 877-927-6648 and tell me how great I am, or post a message in the den.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed with TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back. I have some questions in the den, so we'll answer those. I don't see anything more in the email. But there was a question before that, and I did want to say that I'll be in the last 2 segments with Tom O'Brien in the next hour. And there were some questions about what I thought about sales figures in smartphones. And I'm going to comment about it in those 2 segments. Samsung did come out with earnings, and we do know now, he said, a lot more about what actual sales numbers are for the different companies. And we'll be talking about it then, but I think it will be most enlightening. In the meantime, we've got another question, and that basically revolves around John from Philadelphia asking about what I think about accounting in China. Apparently, there was somebody on Bloomberg telling everybody that if you bought Alibaba, they had the best accounting in the world, and therefore, if there was going to be at least one Chinese company that was safe, it would be Alibaba. And I say, Boulder Dash. You don't get to say that every day. Boulder Dash. None of these companies in China, none of them are going to be audited. I don't know how the SEC wakes up each day and doesn't just jump off a bridge, because we've got a class of stocks, and those are in China, that can do anything that they want to, and there will be no repercussions. There will be nobody investigating it. And if you know that, and you're in China, you know they're not going to extradite you. Well, just do anything you want. Doesn't matter if you're Alibaba. The problem with Alibaba is by the time you wake up, it could be 10 years from now. They did get a lot of cash in that IPO, so you never know. But as I've said many times before, you will not catch this guy doing anything other than shorting stocks from China. They may be wonderful companies that make lots of money. I have no way of knowing. Much more likely that they are giant frauds, and they are fooling themselves, not just fooling us over here in the United States. They're probably fooling themselves. And that's what happens in any kind of very controlled, government like the Chi-Coms run there, or Russia. They're always fooling themselves. They're always not wanting to be the guy that tells anybody the bad news. And if they don't have to stand up in front and let people dig through their books, which they don't have to, what's to stop them? And of course, not a lot of people in the Chinese businesses over there that are making medicine or doing anything else other than trying to make lots of money. And normally it's lots of money on the backs of lots of other people, like 12-year-olds. So I'm not thinking that these people are, incredibly worried about it. And how many people have we heard about just disappearing over there because of fraud? I mean, they just take people out and they disappear. Apparently they don't care. It's not worth it. They say it would cut down on that. I just don't see it. We still hear about those things at least every month. So won't catch this guy buying Chinese stocks anytime soon. And check out the second half of the Tom O'Brien show next hour, when I will hopefully be able to speak intelligently and also be talking about tech stocks. In the meantime, have a nice weekend. The weather's perfect down here in Florida. I will be out all over the town tomorrow night in my shark outfit, the one just like the Super Bowl. We talked about it when it happened. I ordered it right then and got it. But I will be one mean big shark come tomorrow night on Halloween. Sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you Monday here. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.